executive orders that Trump did recently on trans, I think, saying that you cannot have operations anymore under the age of 19. And then also, does it also apply to the sports thing? Yeah, I think it was, right? Another one was, men are not allowed to compete in women's sports. So I definitely
Yeah.
agree with both of those. Um, what do you think?
I agree with you too on it. I don't think it's our biggest issue in America right now. I think we have much more concerning issues. But yes, I agree with Trump. No one under 19 should have a sex change operation. Wait until you're an adult. I think the reason why it's not 18 and I think it's why it's not under 18 is because there's still 18-year-olds as a senior in high school. So I
Okay.
understand that you don't so yeah, no child should be able to have a sex change operation. I get it. There's a lot of like during the teenage years, people can be confused. I think everyone is confused in their teenage years about a lot of things, but that doesn't mean, you know, you should go and get a sex change operation just because you feel like you should be a boy when you're a girl or a girl when you're a boy. And yeah, it makes sense that that boys can't play in girls' sports. You saw what happened when the swimmer Leah Thomas uh, competed, and uh, Leah Thomas, who is a boy who goes by she wants to be called a female. So yeah, we all saw what happened there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
during
not sure. Did Leah Thomas have a sex change operation or
I don't think she did. I mean, I don't remember
just
what
said, "Oh, I'm
it was the NCAA or NCAA rules.
yeah,
I think they had some rules about like that you had to be on medication or maybe have a
okay,
certain level of estrogen or something. But
yeah,
again, it's completely bullshit. That doesn't matter because you're still talking about a man's height, a man's bone density, a man's lung capacity. A man's heart
hmm
is larger than a woman's heart. There's all these genetic factors that factor into it. And it's honestly just a very bad example of a symptom of in our society that I think that we let it get that far. It's kind of what happens. I use the parenting analogy. You know, when your kid says they want to eat 10 candy bars, you don't let them, okay? And that's what happened with trans. I mean, I think we started having people that, they said, oh, well, I feel like I'm this or I feel like I'm that. And the parents just gave up on parenting. They just said, okay, we're going to let the kid do what you do. I mean, the truth is, if it's something that feels right and you feel like you have to do that in your life when you're age 15, then it's going to feel right and it's still going to be there when you're 25. And everyone who's an adult knows, like you said, there's a lot of change in that time frame from let's say 10 years old to 25. That's probably the most change that a human being experiences. Once you come out the other side and you find your profession in life, whatever it is, and you start working and you get up every morning and you have bills to pay and you have responsibilities and you have people depending on you and you have a boss and things that you have to accomplish, now you're getting into the adult version of you. And it's not to say people don't change, they do change a little bit, but you're much more the person that you're going to be for the rest of your life, probably when you're 25 to 35, than you are from 10 to 25. So it's just not smart to make a life altering decision at that age. And some of the other comparisons, you can't join the military before age 18. I mean, what if some kid said, I identify as being a Navy SEAL at age 10? Are we going to let them try out for the Navy SEALs? You can't drink, until you're
true,
21 even.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And yeah, and I think we both completely agree with this. Like I said, it's not the biggest issue that's going on, but yeah,
the other
I
thing I
think
just got to
I
say
think
real quick, I just got to say this real quick because this is another thing with that concept that blew me away. So, you know, this group or whatever, whoever you want to call them, they come out and say, well, we have to support, like you mentioned, Leah Thomas, we have to support her ability to do what she wants to do. Well, what about all? So that was one person. What about all the women that were in the locker room with him? Look at their
Hmm.
rights that you infringed on and took away. What if they said, "Hey, I want to walk around naked in the women's locker room and not have to worry about this, this guy?" It's amazing that they're able to section off one person and say, "We're going to do whatever works for this person, even if it infringes on 20 other people in the locker room." I mean, it's so wrong on its surface, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's I think one good bill, or maybe one thing that Donald Trump has common sense in here. So yeah, so I mean he doesn't have a lot of common sense, but this
And
he
really, and
he does
really, it
good
was
in.
something that the Democrats unfortunately just really walked into because they put a lot of weight and power behind that. But if you think about it, that doesn't line up with the American people were saying. The American people were saying, "Hey, we're concerned about gas prices. We're concerned about food prices,"
Mhm.
and yet the Democrats kind of picked this issue and made a big thing out of it. And I think
And
it just really
and it's
was.
true, and
It
like
wasn't a good alignment with the voters.
and 30 years ago, the Democrats would have been all for this. Like when Bill Clinton was president, he would have been all for this. So I think this
Yeah,
is
Bill
just
Clinton. In
very
fact, I
political.
think it was actually all three of them, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden, at one point in their careers were all for the definition of a marriage is between a man and a woman.
Yeah,
So they weren't even for gay marriage, which that's
yeah,
completely accepted by everybody now.
true, true. Yes. Can we then now switch over to the Gaza issue?
Absolutely.
President Trump says he wants to invade Gaza, the Gaza Strip, maybe kick those people out, improve Gaza. I don't think that will ever happen. I think that's also a distraction issue that he wants you to focus on again, just like with the trans issue. He wants you to focus on that and argue about it, even though it's not a big issue. But I think we both agree going into Gaza would be really stupid.
I do agree with that. I would take issue with the way you phrased it, though. I don't think he wants to invade Gaza. I think Gaza is pretty much empty. He doesn't want to kick those people out. Those people have to leave. It's not habitable. You can't live there. All the buildings have been brought to the ground. One of the excellent points that someone made was, think of all the unexploded munitions. I mean, even if you wanted to stay in that area, it's life threatening because there's possible bombs that didn't explode that are all over the place. So the people there have to be removed from the area so that they can get all the munitions, explode them, make the area safe. Then you're going to have to go through a process of rebuilding. The question is who's going to do the rebuilding? Now, Trump, because he has a building background, I think just threw that out there. I really don't think that he plans on doing anything about that. I hope that he doesn't. I don't want us over there rebuilding. I mean, for crying out loud, we paid for the Israeli bombs that blew up Gaza. Then we paid for the bandages and the food and the humanitarian support. I mean, how dumb can we be? We're paying on both sides of this, and it's on the other side of the world from us. So, someone in that region, their people being Muslims from Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Egypt, why are they not stepping forward? Saudi Arabia, why are they not stepping up to help? These are supposed to be their people. Step up and help your people. The point that Trump was trying to make, and we were talking about this earlier, I just realized looking at it on the map, this should be hotter than Dubai. It's prime oceanfront, not ocean, but Mediterranean Sea, lakefront property. I mean, you could have world class hotels, you could have Lamborghinis everywhere, everybody hanging out at the beach. I mean, it should be fantastic. But because of a radical religious ideology, it's now a town full of rubble.
True, true. I agree with that, and it was kind of funny. Back in Trump's first term, his son-in-law Jared Kushner brought up about Gaza with wanting to build resorts there, and so the only way I could see Trump going into Gaza, which I doubt he'll do, is for the benefit of his son-in-law Jared Kushner to make him richer. So that if it ever does happen, I could see, but I doubt this will happen. It would just be crazy, a huge waste of money that Trump would spend, and yeah, which you wouldn't want to see that because then if you invade, there might be a war then, and then you'd be sending U.S. troops in. and then it's all on Trump's, hands. Their blood will be on his hands. So
I mean, it may take some of his leadership as kind of a world leader, but it should be local people. It should be local people. It should be people that have a stake in that area of the world that are trying to help figure out how to rebuild that and do it better. I don't know what the answer is, but and you also have to come up with some better answer than having them right next door to Israel. I mean, who would want someone who just attacked them and murdered all these innocent people? Why would you want them to rebuild right next to you? That would be like if, well, my neighbor tried to burn my house down, but that's okay. He's just going to continue to live next door to me. No, I don't want that. Get him out of here. Have him go somewhere else.
true, true. This was a good talk, a good discussion, and we both agree on a
Yes.
couple issues here,
Yep.
in which
Absolutely.
we don't agree a lot on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It just
so
goes to show you. I mean, there is areas of agreement out there if you discuss these enough. So let that be a lesson to everyone out there. No one is the enemy. We all have opinions and ideas, and if we talk about them long enough, hopefully we find some common ground.
true. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.